if you speak Portuguese and you see something about Miguel Arruda, then you say something. You say something to us, because the following was translated by a Portuguese-speaking fan on Twitter and sent to us, and I have been thinking about it for a couple of days because, of course, at the beginning of the show, we have to introduce Miguel Aruda, the officially endorsed Portuguese politician of the podcast, the Portuguese guy with the royal warrant that we gave to as our official Portuguese politician. He's joining the likes of Greg Stubbe, Matt Hancock as people we endorse unironically and want to form a political party as all of them, a global political party. He was caught using the Portuguese Parliament's post office to sell all of his ill-gotten luggage gains.
Like at work?
The reason for this is that he was able to save several cents per stamp.
I mean, we found one government employee who knows how to save money. Appoint this man to the head of DOGE. Portuguese DOGE. Portuguese water DOGE.
I mean, Portuguese is just an inherently funny language, and I mean no disrespect to Portuguese people or lusophones, but what I'm saying is that when Jair Bolsonaro is an insane person, but him posting okay, golden shower is just extremely funny. Something about like the syntax of it, or the fact that, I mean, racism in Portuguese is, I believe, o racismo, and it's just something funny. It's like an invocation. It's like, oh, racism. Like there's something, racismo, you old sort. That sounds like the fucking like a libretto to an opera.
So this is the official announcement. Call to action. Miguel Aruda information. You must give it to us.
We need to know everything else about this man.
As this case develops, I know he's a fascist. I don't care. Don't tell me about his political positions. I want to know about the silly shit he gets up to.
If he has like a funny party he's been a member of, like Partido do Racismo, or like the Angry Motorists Party or something like that. You know, there's always one of them. The parking lot party or something.
I want to know if anyone's had a fight with him on Vinted.
Oh yeah. Okay.
If you can find his Vinted account and you can sort of like get into his messages or like his feedback.
I love it when there's deep lore with people who are like resellers or selling on eBay and stuff like that. And you imagine a guy this messy must have someone he's burned and he's gotten a bad review for it.
Sorry, Hussein, it's pronounced grinted. It's pronounced grinted.
Thank you. Thank you.
So this is just my cross to bear for the rest of my life then.
You have to realize that even if the bit was great and the fans love it, our brains do the Men in Black fucking laser light thing at the end of every episode, and we can't remember anything.
It's like, what? Yeah. The fuck is grinted?
You talking about the Grinch? Look, Miguel Aruda, he's the best seller on Vinted because he uses the resources of the state to actually give back to people.
It's Keynesianism, right? Like you do government spending to subsidize Grinted, and it works out quite well.
Welcome to TF, of course. That has been the obligatory Miguel Aruda segment. More on this as it develops.
Yeah, we can't wait to hear more about this guy from all of you.
It is Riley, it's Hussein, and Nate in studio. Nate making a rare in-studio appearance.
Yeah, like a character in a John le Carre novel. I've come back from Central Europe to Britain to settle some debts, and the weather sucks. Actually, it's sunny. I can't even make it up. You know what I mean? I'm going to go make some cryptic phone calls, spend some time in a phone box, pissing because the phone doesn't work anymore, but you can definitely piss in them. And then we don't know what's going to happen at the end, but it's going to somehow reify the concept that while England sucks, it's also good.
Yeah, the spy who pissed in the cold. And of course, we have November up in Glasgow, and we are rejoined by TF returning champion, one of our, I think, probably most frequent guests. It's This Machine Kills' Jathan Sadowski. Jathan, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Coming to you hot from the Bay Area. I am in the belly of the beast right now.
Yeah, if you were listening to this and we all sound a little bit less annoyed about the time we're recording, it's because Jathan is not in Australia. So you've got a new book that you're talking about, The Mechanic and the Luddite. One of the things the book deals with, like the book deals with a lot of things, and we're going to sort of focus on some of them today through the lens of the Department for Government Efficiency, not the one that involves Miguel Aruda, not the real one that Miguel Aruda is in charge of.
Actual savings.
Yeah, not the good one in Portugal. We're talking about the bad one in the United States.
He saved pennies on each envelope franked that way, and you know what? Like that's like in a span of a month, that's the tax savings, a full salary of what a dude like him declares on his taxes in Portugal every year. So like he has saved the Portuguese government quite a bit.
I mean, I don't want to do too much mayor talk, but it's some mayor ass behavior to be doing that.
I misremembered this as a No Gods No Mayors bit just because I I thought we did
So
one
mayor.
Portuguese guy, and for me now the entire nation of Portugal it's in the mayor box in my head.
Yeah.
Perhaps the most mayor-ass part of this is that he will never be prosecuted for any of these obvious crimes of corruption because, as we know, all mayors are Teflon in the eyes of God.
But what I was alluding to, right, is that we're going to be talking a little bit about quite, I would say, overt relationship of the state and sort of and capital mediated via the aesthetics of the technology industry that you can just look at with sort of horror in what's going on with like everything from knowledge creation to like people's livelihoods and so on in the US government. But before we get to that, I do want to talk a little bit about the UK because it looks like
Things are great.
I don't want to alarm anybody, but it looks as though Kier Starmer is getting the Boris Johnson PartyGate treatment, but as a man who has never had a party in his life.
Yeah, we're kind of like noticing things about Kier Starmer. Articles are getting written about him, about things that clearly everyone involved has known for some years, but that's now sort of like something that is permissible to write about, including the thing that, the quotes that stuck with me, which is all of the people like Lord Ali saying, oh yeah, we just firmly like bought influence. Kier Starmer thinks he's prime minister, but we've put him in like the head of the DLR, like he's pretending to drive the like driverless train.
So the quote here I have, and these are the clique of the four people who actually ran the Labour Party at one point, two of which have been like muscled out. So there's only two of them left, Morgan McSweeney and Lord Wahid Ali. Well, Lord Wahid Ali, by the way, the guy who bought the Starmers by giving them clothes and letting them hang out at his house. Just incredible.
The kinds of kindness guy from when I was doing all the kinds of kindness bits. That guy, yeah.
Those kinds of kindness bits. Occasionally, they even spoke of their leader as if he were a useful idiot. Said one, referring to the Docklands Light Railway that wound its way through East London, a driverless train, for those of you who don't know. Kier's not driving the train. He thinks he's driving the train, but we've just sat him at the front of the DLR.
Do you have to confirm it's a real fun trip when you're sitting on the front of a DLR? Like your life really does feel different.
Kier Starmer is like riding the top floor of the double-decker bus, but he's sitting at the front and he's having a great time.
Also having a great time, yeah.
Yeah. He also said, and again, like things that just are everybody knows, even casual observers of British politics would know that there's no such thing as Starmerism. Then he gets quoted as saying, I don't have any ideology at all. And he's like quite angry saying this to Len McCluskey, saying, I don't have any ideology at all. There's no such thing as Starmerism and there never will be. I am an empty suit. How many more times must I tell you people?
It's really inconvenient to be asked to have any kind of principles. I mean, the other thing is, the other story that came out was his voice coach that he hired.
A voice coach, the world's most adenoidal man. What did he sound like before?
Is Starmer doing gender-affirming care?
He's definitely listened to this show.
Well, this is the thing I was going to say, right? Like, Starmer hiring a voice coach despite sounding like the least voice-coached person in Britain after me. And, like, supposedly she broke lockdown rules by, like, traveling to meet him during the, like, tier 4 lockdown or whatever. And it's like, this is Partygate again. It's never going to stop. It's all
the
going
voice
to be
coach was a woman? Was he trying to feminize his voice? Or
heat from fire.
What
fire
did it sound like
heat.
before?
It's not even Matt Hancock style breaking lockdown rules to shag. It's like, no, he broke the rules so he could hire someone to make his voice more annoying. It's just like, I guarantee you, someone has played Milo's impression of him to him. And he's like, I don't sound like that. And it's just, he can't say, I believe we have lathed this.
If we don't want to get sued, we have to say that that's what's happening and it couldn't have been anything else.
Yeah, no, of course.
I mean, I don't think, okay, I mean, if he sues us because like, actually it's libel, it's defamatory
that would be funny.
For you to say, I hired someone to make my nerd voice even more annoying. Like, that's a really funny thing to prove in court because you have to establish the baseline of what the nerd voice is.
Sorry, what I was saying is that we can't say that they were fucking.
I didn't say they were, okay.
No, he saw an online ad for the throat goat and he was like, great, someone to make my voice sound better.
Are we talking about our Prime Minister, Tobias Funke?
We might also be discounting like a period of time where he thought that doing like an ASMR kind of Starmer might sort of make him more appealing to
ASMR.
Yeah. I have been trying to think in my head, like, how would that work? Would it be like Starmer,
work at all, no.
ASMR? It should work, but it doesn't.
Much like Starmer in that way.
You just say Kier SMR. I think that would work. That kind of fits, sort of. Yeah.
I'm so off my game today.